Typecasting means automatic or implicit type conversion. When the conversion that takes place automatically or implicitly, like in built-in case, it happens. If your value is the float value, you want to make it integer, compiler does that. Okay, it is called as implicit type of conversion. It is a type of implicit conversion. It is done by the compiler internally, and it is what whenever it is conversion is taking place, it is done automatic, or we can say that it is a kind of implicit type conversion. Okay, and yesterday we talked about the type conversion that can happen in the form of explicit conversion. Okay, so what we want that the data convergence has to be done from the user defined to the built-in and from built-in to the user defined, right? So typecasting is there, already there, right? So typecasting happens for the built-in data types, which is done by a compiler itself. If there is a value of float value and we want it is to be converted into integer, it is converted in the that statement. Okay, but similarly, can we have that the user defined to the built-in data type conversion? Yes, but we have to write the procedure or the method for it. Procedure or method for it. Okay, can you see this built-in example? What int a, suppose float d is equal to this value, and you are assigning this a is equal to d. Can you see this? Int a float d is equal to 7.2361. This is a float value, right? So when a is equal to d, what value of a will be? 7. 7. Why? Because what integer a is an integer type of value. Though the value of d is in float, what it will perform? Implicit conversion of that value, and it will just cut out the remaining portion after the decimal point, and it takes the complete whole number and assign to a. It takes only complete number and assigns to a, right? This is what the built-in data type. Whenever the built-in data type we used in our program statements, then compiler automatically just do the convergence. Okay, compiler automatically do the convergence. But the same way can it happens for the user defined data types? For that user defined data type, as a programmer you have to write the function for this particular convergence. So that topic is data conversion. Okay, for the incompatible types, the conversion routine should be defined by the programmer to convert. That means programmer is responsible for converting such type of the typecastings. Okay, so typecasting one which is done by implicit by the compiler is called implicit typecasting, and which is done by the user or the programmer is called as explicit typecasting. And that happens. Okay, that happens. So because in the C++, basically we perform these things with the help of user defined data types, and that user defined data type is nothing but the class and its objects. So basic to the user defined. So this convergence requires through the constructor that take an argument of the type to be converted when there is a conversion from basic to the user defined. Okay, basic means what? Basic data types means what? Code character, these are the basic data types. From this basic data types to the user defined, this user defined means class structure like. So from basic to the user defined, we does this with the help of the constructors. Through the constructors that take a argument of the type to be converted. Okay, so it takes the argument of the type to be converted. So already we discussed this program, but in detail I want to tell these things. Okay, so user defined to basic. Another type of conversion is user defined to the basic. Now what it is said, from user defined means from class, whatever the class variables we have, we want to just convert to the basic types, means integer or float likewise. So same way, how we can do this? By overloaded the casting operator. Now in this case, what we have to do? We have to overload the casting operator, which uses a general syntax as operator and the type name and whatever the name or whatever the argument passing values, and we have to do the particular statements to convert it. So syntax is for user defined to basic. Just remember these things. If it is a basic to user defined, then through constructor. Basic to user defined, then through constructors. That will take one argument which of the type to be converted, which we want to convert. And second is user defined to basic. Basic means float or integer, that is the basic from user defined. So overloading this casting operator is required for that. Okay, overloading casting operator, which uses a general syntax as how we will find this with the help of operator. Operator is the keyword we have to use, then the type name, and then the function name. Okay, so this will define you a definition for the user defined to basic function. Okay, then third is what? The user defined to the another user defined, means one user defined to the another user defined. We can convert as well. So how we can convert then? Using the constructor or the conversion function. Okay, so from one user defined to another user defined, you can convert by using the constructor call or by using the conversion function call. Okay, by using the constructor call or by using the conversion function call. These three are the mechanisms for which we can use for the data conversion. Okay, up till now what we discussed, overloading the functions for the operator overloading or within the same class objects, within the same class objects. Okay, now we can have this the possibility that many times we want in our programming that basic to user defined convergence also. Then that case we can do through the constructor call. If we want the user defined to basic, then we can overload the casting operator. And if we want user defined to use another user defined, then constructor or using the conversion function. Okay, this is the things. Then what is the question? When to use what? When to use what? That means using a one argument constructor or the conversion function, the selection is up to the programmer. Using one argument constructor or the conversion function, the selection is given by the programmer. Programmer can choose one of this. Okay, when conversion function is used, conversion takes place in the source class and the result is passed to the destination class. Okay, so the conversion function that is to be used, conversion takes place in the source class and the result is passed to the destination class, because in this case we are having the user defined data type to user defined data type. So one class will be the source class and another class will be the destination class. One class will be the source class and another class will be the destination class. So that is the type and the name refers to the destination class in that regards. So operator and the type name. Type names means suppose we have a two classes. So in that we can use that one class is the test class, another is the sample class. So we can use in test class we want to use that function, then we operator and the test class name. Okay, this will be the conversion function written in that test class. Then when constructor is used, the argument belongs to the source class and is passed to the destination class for the conversion. Similarly, when we use the constructor, it is used, the arguments belongs to the source class and it is to be passed to the destination class for the conversion. So you have to use a constructor which is using the argument which in one source class, that is source class, okay, where it is written, and you have to pass that constructor and the belonging object to the destination class for the conversion. Okay, for the conversion. So this conversion is basically for the user defined to the another user defined class. So this two can be used. So out of this, the programmer's choice which has to be used by using the argument constructor or by using the conversion function. Okay, by using the argument or by using the this conversion functions. So with the data conversion concept, the concepts of the explicit and the mutable keywords, these are the two important keywords. Okay, these are the two important keywords which are there for this purpose. Okay, now if we have the some when to use the explicit and when to use the mutable. Okay, these two keywords has to be used. Okay, so when to use the explicit and when to use the mutable. What happens sometimes? Okay, what happens sometimes? The restrictions is there to implicit conversion of argument received in a constructor to object of the class. I will tell this with the help of the example. Okay, how this happens means, as you have seen, there is a compiler who can understand that there has to do the implicit conversion if it doesn't find the definition for it. If it doesn't find the definition for that particular conversion, then it will perform the implicit conversion by using the constructor call whatever it has written earlier. Okay, if it doesn't find that particular function for the conversion, then what it will does, it will just use the constructor call of that particular class. Okay, it will does that, but we don't want that it should do the implicit call We don't want that the compiler should do the implicit call. So for that, you have to place the keyword explicit. You have to place the keyword explicit so that the compiler can understand that it do not want, it doesn't need the implicit conversion. So we are stopping it. We are preventing it from the implicit conversion of that particular statement. Okay, so constructor will not execute that routine. Constructor routine will not be executed in that case if it finds certain statement. If it finds certain statement. Okay, so will be clear after the example. This concept will be clear after the example. Okay. Now second type of keyword that is used is mutable keyword. That is mutable keyword. Okay. Now what this is mutable keyword and when it is to be used? Mutable is it allows a constant data members. It allows a constant data members to be modified. Now what is this meaning? Whenever we write something constant variable in the class, and I want that the constant variable value to be changed, to be modified, then I will place just mutable keyword in front of that particular variable constant. And other variable are the normal variable. Other variable are the normal variable. But if we do that constant data member without the mutable, then the value will not get changed. Then the value will not get changed. If you don't write the mutable in front of that constant data member, then the value will not change. Okay, so this is what certain applications useful in that some classes are there where you want some variables is written as a normal variable and some variable you want that to be declared as a constant variable. Then constant variable has to be changed when there is a case. The otherwise you don't need that to be changed because they are constant data members. Okay, so useful in classes that have the secret implementation. Now these are the two types which we can use as a explicit and a mutable keywords along with what is the use of this and where to use this. Okay, so mutable keyword is used with the data members which are referred as constant data members which are referred as constant members of that particular class and you want to change it, then use the keyword mutable. For example, there is an example given here. Now, suppose class test mutable you have written. Yes, is it visible? Class test mutable. We have the in method you have written a public test mutable and int v is equal to 0 you are passing. Okay, and you have done its value or mutable keyword and int value. This is what variable, but of what type you want it that constant type. Okay, you want to make this variable as a constant type. So what you have to do when you write the method for this get value, you have to write a const variable. Okay, here const as a keyword and return the plus plus value. Okay, and now when you are calling the constructor for this class, when you are writing the constructor test mutable int v is equal to 0 and you are passing this value is equal to v, that means this value v is equal to value assigned value. This is a constructor call parameterized or here you will find the definition for this const test mutable test. Const test mutable test, that means this is a constructor of call for this particular class and you are passing 59. So 59 value will be assigned here. Yes, 59 value will be assigned. Are you getting this? This is a class where you have written one variable which is a mutable variable, and for that mutable variable you are calling the constructor call which will assign the value v to this. Okay, which will assign this value v to this, and here initially this value is static. See, v is equal to 0. This value is static, constant, but you are going to change this value. Why? Because you are saying that this is a mutable. In front of this you are saying it is mutable, right? Then what will happen when you see out this statement value on first call test dot get value. Now what is this function test value? Here it will return the plus plus value. Plus plus means what it happens with plus plus? It will increment the value. It will increment the value of the this value variable. This value variable. So value on first call will be incremented 59 to it becomes 60, and the value on second call what it becomes? Again it will increment. It becomes 61.
61.
It becomes 61. Yes. Now just check out here that initially we said that this is a constant type of the class Okay, constant type of class and its variable is value. So I want to change if such type of member, then I need here to write mutable. If I want to change it, because it is written as constant class, constant and the class name and the object of this. Okay, it won't be changed if you don't write mutable in front of this keyword. Otherwise, will just take as if you remove this mutable, you will get 0. You will get 0. Okay, are you getting this? You will get 0 if you remove this mutable keyword because it is declared as a constant object of this class. So you don't have the permission to change it unless and until you use this mutable keyword. Okay, and because you use this mutable keyword, you can change this and you can write this method and you increment this value and you will get this value here. That is how the output you will get. Value on first call, it is 60, as earlier it was 59, your passing value, it is becoming 60, and afterwards value of first call, it becomes 61. Now again one more example in the same way how we can use this mutable keyword, changing the constant object. The concept is we want to change the constant object data using the mutable keyword. Same concept. Okay, this is the simple example. Again we are taking one more example. Now class scroll bar. Class scroll bar, in this we have one member variable is int size. Okay, another variable is mutable string owner. All right, are you getting this? Two variables int size, another is string owner. One is in integer, another is in string. These are the two variables. After that, I am using as constructor of this class scroll bar, and the constructor, because parameterized constructor is called, so we are having the two variables passing arguments. We are assigning to size sz and own to the own variable or the owner variable. Okay, owner variable. This is a owner variable, so we are assigning this value through the parameterized constructor call. Okay, through the parameterized constructor call. Then there is a method called void set size. Here again we are passing value and we are assigning this size value is equal to sz, which parameter you passed. Similarly, this is the set size. Then we are having the set owner. Okay, earlierly it was for the size it is assigning value, and another method which is set owner, you are assigning the value for the owner. These are the separate calls for the size and this is for the owner. Now there is a third method, get size const. It returns the size, and string get owner const, it returns the owner. Just it is returning where it is called. Just it is returning where it is called. Now we will see where these methods are called. Where these methods are called. We require the main function for that. So we are writing the main function, integer main const. Why this const? As the question is what? Our object or this class is a constant having values. Constant value. Why? Because we have declared this. We are declare this const means constant. Constant means what? Afterwards it won't be changed. Afterwards it won't be changed. Once it is given a value, it afterwards won't be changed. That is the meaning of const. So our class is const class scroll bar having the object, and once you pass this argument 60 and window 1, this is given to what? Parameterized constructor call. That means your size value becomes, what is the size value becomes? 60. This size value gets 60 and this string value owner becomes window 1. Okay. Now once this is given, now is it can change. Now there is a method s bar dot get size 100. Can it will change? अभी change होगी क्या वो value?
No.
100. Can it be changed to 60 to 100? As we have no. It won't be. It won't be changed to the 100. 60 value remains 60. 60 value remains 60. Why? Because you have not used keyword mutable over there.
Mutable, yes.
Yes, you have not used the keyword mutable for the size. Sorry, this one. For the size, you have not used the mutable keyword. So once you have given the value, it won't be changed afterwards. Now, by this, See, this is the void set size in size. This is the another method. This will be called, but it won't be changing the value. But next time, this is a mutable string owner. Now you have written mutable to one of the member. Okay, one of the member owner mutable, and you have written the value, that is set owner string own and const. Now this works. How? You have written this const as well, and you are going to change this by calling the thing. What is the object name? S bar dot set owner. Now in bracket you are passing window 2. Will it be running? Yes.
Mm.
Yes. So this is okay, and this is working when we find this as the string is having, this variable is having the word keyword mutable. So this will be working. Okay, this will be working. Okay, you just mute your so s bar dot set owner, and it will assign, or it will call out the method which is written here, that is set owner string own const, and owner is equal to own value. So string value which you passing will be assigned to this owner. This is a variable of the class scroll bar. Now it will be changing the value of the owner. Okay, now it will be changing the value of owner, and earlierly it was the window 1. Now it becomes the window 2. Earlierly it was a window 1, now it becomes a window 2, because we said that though it is a constant type of the class object, we are changing that with the help of the only mutable keyword where it is required. Okay, where it is required, we can put up the keyword mutable there when we want that particular variable value should be changed afterwards. Otherwise, if you don't want that to be changed, then you should say that it is a constant class. Once you give the value, do not need to change. Then you can use that constant class. And otherwise, if you want one of the value to be changed, then you use the keyword in front of that member variable as mutable. And then while writing the method, you just keep there a const keyword. After writing the method, write a const keyword. In this place, we have written the const keyword here only. Here only you have written the const keyword. Okay. Now get size const return size, and get owner const return the owner. Okay. So this will return means if you print that, it will show what is the value. It is like get size cout statement, s bar dot get size, and s bar dot get owner. This will print out the values. That values are get size value and the get owner. Now what will be the output? What will be the output?
Window 2.
But here for get size
60 comma window
60 comma
Window 2. Yes.
yes 60 comma window 2. This will be the output for this program, right? Similarly, for earlier program, the output is value on first call 60 and value on first call here 61. As we have not used the end L statement over here, so it is printing in one line. It is printing in only one line. As we know, what is the use of end L? It will returns the new line. It will return the new line. If you want to understand this concept, you have to run this practically. Okay, whatever this concept, you will better understand if you run this program. Okay, if you run this program on the when you are doing the practical. So the conversion between the objects and the basic types are, when we want to convert between the user defined data types and the basic types, we can't rely on built-in conversion routines. Okay, we have to write the user defined routines. You have to write the user defined routines, and we have discussed this program, right? We have discussed this program, conversion between the objects and the basic types. Now what is the basic type used here? It is a float. Okay, it is a float, that is a basic type, right? And what is the object? Feet and inches is the value inside this distance class. We want to convert it, right? We want to convert that value. So we have used this way the constructor call for defining the values. For defining the value, then the constructor call. Here we are using this constructor call firstly for the initializing value. Every value you are initialized here. Then second, you are using this distance float meters. That means what? You are passing the argument as meter. You are passing the argument as meter, and you want to get it converted into a feet and inches. That means into what? into object values, into the object values. Okay, so this is the conversion procedure we have seen. So when to use what? If you see this, when to use what? In main program, the first converts a fixed float quantity representing meters to feet and inches using the one argument constructor. This was the constructor, and you have to write, suppose you are writing distance 1 is equal to 2.35 f, then this constructor will call which one in program? This one, float meters. You are calling this one. Okay, so float meters, this constructor will be called for the that method which will convert it into the feet and inches values. Feet and inches value. So distance 1 is equal to 2.35. It will find out that definition. Okay, so this statement will go and jump to the definition. Going in the other direction, it converts the distance to the meters in the statement. Now another statement is what? From distance to meters it has to convert. Means from feet and inches it has to convert to meter. Then which statement in the program? In the main program, meters is equal to static cast. This is the conversion. This is the conversion, static underscore cast. And which value you want to convert? Object value, convert into the float value and get assigned to meters. This is a statement. This is a statement. Where it is written? It is written here. See, meters is equal to static underscore cast float and distance 1. Where it will jump? This will jump into which routine? This will jump into which routine? Yes, operator float const, where it will jump on this method, conversion of this float value. Okay, it will just jump out here. All right. So likewise, you have to see this inside your code, which function is written for what. Okay, and the main method you have that statements showing the whatever statement will find the compiler the definition inside the program. So compiler has to search it, right? So we will discuss this in continuation in the next lecture.